In a reimagined world where all the volcanoes on Earth erupted simultaneously, chaos unfolded on a scale never before seen. Scientists around the globe were stunned as ash columns shot miles into the sky, blotting out the sun and plunging the planet into darkness. The eruption of over 1,500 volcanoes released billions of tons of sulfur dioxide, creating a global volcanic winter that lasted for months. Cities were obliterated under ash and lava flows, with billions of lives lost in the initial catastrophe, an estimated death toll of over 7 billion people. Wildlife across continents was decimated, forests were burnt to cinders, and oceanic life was choked by toxic fumes and ashfall. The Amazon rainforest, once teeming with life, was reduced to a smouldering wasteland, causing irreversible ecological damage. In Africa, the Serengeti's iconic herds were wiped out, and many species faced extinction due to habitat destruction and climate upheaval. Coastal communities faced tsunamis triggered by undersea eruptions, further amplifying destruction along shoreline regions. The ash clouds blocked sunlight for months, causing global temperatures to plummet and disrupting agricultural production worldwide. Famine spread rapidly as crops failed and water sources became contaminated with ash and chemicals released by volcanic activity. Mass migrations began as survivors fled their destroyed homes, seeking refuge in remaining habitable regions. Governments collapsed under the weight of disaster management, with chaos and desperation sweeping through societies. Survivors relied on underground shelters and canned food supplies, trying to adapt to a new, harsher reality beneath the surface. Innovators and scientists worked tirelessly to develop new technology to survive in this ash-choked world. Some communities created makeshift greenhouses protected by thick glass, attempting to grow crops in limited sunlight. Despite the devastation, stories of human resilience emerged, people sharing resources, forming new communities, and helping each other. The global economy had crumbled, currency was worthless, and barter systems replaced traditional trade in many regions. The air was thick with ash, making breathing hazardous, leading to widespread respiratory illnesses among survivors. Power grids and communication networks were destroyed, isolating remaining pockets of humanity from each other. In the midst of destruction, a viral glimpse of hope appeared, people sharing their stories online even in the darkest hours. Some managed to film the eruptions, spreading images of Earth's fury across social media worldwide, warning and simultaneous fascination. A mix of fear, awe, and curiosity gripped humanity as they watched nature's wrath unfold in real time. Rescue efforts were almost impossible. The scale of destruction was overwhelming, and many regions became inaccessible due to ash and lava. Losing countless wildlife, including rare species, pushed some ecosystems to the brink of collapse, forever altering Earth's biodiversity. The global death toll continued to climb, reaching beyond 8 billion, with millions more suffering from injuries, famine, and disease. Eternal ash clouds served as a reminder of nature's power, an awe-inspiring yet terrifying force that reshaped the planet overnight. The remaining survivors learned to adapt to a world shrouded in darkness where food and clean water were precious commodities. Communities scavenged for resources, creating alliances based on mutual survival rather than nationality or prior affiliations. Many turned to ancient survival skills, gathering rainwater, hunting small animals, and conserving energy in extreme conditions. In some pockets, people started planting hardy, ash-resistant crops, attempting to re-establish life amid the devastation. Scientists predicted that after decades, Earth might begin to recover, but some ecosystems may never fully heal. The world had forever changed. Fewer forests, more deserts, and an atmosphere thick with volcanic gases and ash pollution. Humans reshaped their understanding of resilience, realizing that survival was fiercely dependent on ingenuity and unity. As years went by, survivors chronicled their stories, spreading messages of hope and warning for generations to come. Children born after the eruption grew up knowing a world vastly different from before, infused with the lessons of catastrophe. They learned to respect the Earth's raw power and the delicate balance that once kept their world stable. Communities built new homes using volcanic rock and ash, turning destruction into a foundation for renewal. Despite the overwhelming loss, some believed that this chaos was a painful but necessary step towards a new beginning. Throughout it all, the viral images and stories kept reminding humanity of what was lost and what could be rebuilt. In this new world, survival depended on compassion, resilience, and an unyielding spirit to adapt and thrive under extreme circumstances. If you reimagined a world where giant balls of lava 1,000 times the size of humans fell from the sky all over the world, the death count would likely reach into the millions, with entire cities reduced to ashes and civilizations struggling to comprehend the catastrophic damage inflicted upon their societies as they scavenge for survival amidst the chaos. In this extraordinary scenario, governments would be forced to disentangle themselves from bureaucratic red tape, mobilizing resources for immediate disaster relief while communities band together, forging alliances and innovating survival strategies under the constant threat of further eruptions that could obliterate any semblance of normalcy. As panic spreads and resources dwindle, survival instincts kick in, prompting humanity to innovate in unprecedented ways, developing advanced technology to predict the lava falls, while underground bunkers become sanctuaries for those fortunate enough to find refuge from nature's wrath. In this grim new reality, humanity would witness both tragedy and triumph as creative minds unite to protect what's left of their civilization, leveraging science and cooperation to devise protective measures, all while dealing with the harrowing reality of constant loss and the haunting memories of those who perished in the relentless onslaught of lava from the sky. As nations grapple with the overwhelming humanitarian crisis created by these apocalyptic events, international aid efforts would surge, uniting countries across the globe to provide support and resources, while the digital age enables real-time communication, allowing collaborative strategies that intertwine science, logistics, and the indomitable human spirit to foster hope amid despair. In the aftermath of the calamity, educational systems evolved to include comprehensive disaster preparedness curricula, emphasizing skills that not only teach children about surviving in a world forever altered by lava, but also cultivate a deeper respect for nature's untamed power and the importance of ecological balance. As society begins to heal and adapt, innovative technologies emerge to safeguard against further disasters, fostering a new era of resilience where communities not only rebuild but also collaborate to create sustainable solutions, empowering future generations to face whatever challenges the Earth may unleash with courage and unity. In the wake of devastation, communities would hold memorials to remember those who were lost in the lava cataclysm, while resilience takes root in practices like urban farming and renewable energy, reflecting humanity's ability to not only survive, but also flourish through innovation and synergy, creating a future that honors the lessons learned from a hard-fought battle against nature's fury. As the world adapts to the ongoing threat of volcanic activity, global leaders convene to share knowledge and resources, forging international alliances that prioritize disaster readiness, while local artists use their talents to capture the journey from despair to hope, creating powerful symbols of resilience that uplift communities and inspire future generations. In an age marked by uncertainty, scientific advancements become crucial in monitoring volcanic threats, as specialists work tirelessly in state-of-the-art facilities to ensure public safety, while communities resiliently embrace their cultural heritage through festivals and gatherings, reinforcing their identity and unity as they celebrate life, love, and the enduring human spirit amidst the ashes of their past. As flames continue to pose threats, courageous first responders remain at the forefront, risking their lives to shield homes from fiery encroachment, while the community finds solace in lush parks designed for recreation and healing, demonstrating that even in the aftermath of disaster, life can flourish and hope can reignite amidst the scars left behind. With a renewed focus on sustainability, innovative community centers emerge as beacons of hope, providing education and resources to prepare for future crises, while shared stories around communal fires foster deep connections among survivors, reminding them that even in the darkest of times, the light of human camaraderie and collective strength can pave the way for a brighter tomorrow. As cities are reimagined to incorporate climate-resilient designs, blending nature with innovation, citizens from all walks of life join forces on global volunteer days, transforming landscapes while forging bonds across cultures, underscoring humanity's shared resolve to not just recover from devastation but to thrive in a sustainable future that honors their past. In a reimagined world where frogs grew to be 1,000 times their normal size, chaos erupted across the earth. Suddenly, these gigantic frogs went to war with similarly scaled-up rabbits, creating a spectacle of colossal battles. The frogs, with their powerful legs and massive leaps, dominated the battlefield at first, causing widespread destruction. Meanwhile, the rabbits, surprisingly agile and quick, launched guerrilla-style attacks, wreaking havoc on frog troops. Cities were leveled as the gigantic creatures clashed, leaving trails of debris and ruined infrastructure. The death toll soared to millions as entire towns and forests vanished under the onslaught of these monstrous animals. Civilizations crumbled under the relentless violence, with governments struggling to control the chaos. Humans watched helplessly as their world turned into a war zone between the two giant species. Many humans fled to underground bunkers, seeking safety from the monstrous battles above the surface. Food supplies and water sources were contaminated and destroyed, leading to widespread famine and thirst. The damage to what remained of human civilization was staggering, with borders collapsing and economies collapsing. Some brave groups attempted to intervene, but their weapons were barely effective against the colossal creatures. In the midst of destruction, scientists speculated that these giant animals had been affected by some unknown mutation or environmental change. The global death count reached over 50 million, including animals and humans alike, as the war raged on. Many urban areas became ghost towns, haunted by the monstrous remnants of conflict. Despite the devastation, hope persisted among a small faction of humans who believed peace was still possible. They devised plans to cultivate and release bioengineered creatures to counter the giant frogs and rabbits. Some suggested that the key to survival was adapting quickly and learning to coexist with the titanic animals. Others feared that extinction was imminent if the war continued unchecked. Earth's landscapes transformed dramatically, with craters and ruins marking the battlegrounds of this prehistoric-sized war. The skies were often darkened by dust clouds kicked up from constant battles and destruction. Waterways were blocked or polluted, leading to environmental collapses and loss of aquatic life. As years passed, the fighters on both sides became exhausted, their populations dwindling rapidly. The giant frogs and rabbits, despite their immense size, suffered from scarcity of resources and internal conflicts. Some factions of humans envisioned a new world, where they could harness the chaos for renewal and rebirth. Others believed total annihilation was inevitable and prepared for life after the destruction. The question on everyone's mind was who would ultimately dominate in this colossal war. Many argued that the frogs, with their brute strength and resilience, had the upper hand initially. However, the rabbits' speed, intelligence, and adaptability eventually turned the tide of battle. In the end, neither species emerged victorious. Both suffered losses too great to continue fighting. Humanity's survival depended on quick thinking, resilience, and perhaps most importantly, hope. Small pockets of humans managed to survive, hiding within underground bunkers or fortified shelters. They relied on scavenging, trading, and their ingenuity to sustain life in a devastated world. Scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to develop technology that could control or neutralize the giant creatures. Despite their efforts, the scale of destruction was almost incomprehensible, and rebuilding seemed like a distant dream. Yet in the midst of despair, stories of human bravery and collaboration emerged, inspiring a new generation. The war between frogs and rabbits taught the survivors a harsh lesson about nature's power and unpredictability. Could humanity adapt enough to thrive again on this scarred earth? The answer remained uncertain, but one thing was clear. Survival required resilience, innovation, and hope. In a world reimagined where every dam on earth suddenly collapsed, chaos erupted instantly. The sound of rushing water was deafening as colossal walls of water surged across continents. Cities like New York, London, and Tokyo were swallowed by the unstoppable floodwaters within moments. Millions of people in coastal areas were caught off guard, seeking higher ground in a desperate scramble for survival. The death toll soared rapidly, with estimates reaching over 30 million lives lost in the first few days. The once bustling financial districts were now submerged underwater, leaving billions in economic ruin. In Venice, the historic city was torn apart as floodwaters swept through centuries-old buildings. Floodwaters in Mumbai obliterated slums, washing away entire neighborhoods in a wave of destruction. The Amazon basin and the Congo rainforest were flooded extensively, disrupting ecosystems worldwide. Agricultural lands were drowned, triggering global food shortages on an unprecedented scale. With infrastructure devastated, millions of survivors faced famine, disease, and relentless despair. Power grids failed across continents as electrical stations were overwhelmed by rising waters. The global climate was thrown into chaos, with massive storms forming as a result of disturbed weather patterns. Emergency responders struggled to provide aid amid widespread flooding and infrastructure collapse. Governments declared states of emergency. International aid efforts were hampered by flooded ports and airports. Hospitals were submerged or overwhelmed, unable to handle the overwhelming surge of injured and sick refugees. The internet and communication networks went dark in many regions, isolating millions in their misery. Looting and violence spiked as desperate survivors fought for resources in the chaos. The collapse of dams also unleashed toxic chemicals and pollutants, poisoning water supplies globally. Wildlife populations plummeted as habitats were wiped out overnight, causing ecological collapses. The world's fisheries were decimated, leading to a collapse in global seafood supplies. Religious and social upheaval surged as communities grappled with the new realities of survival. Rival factions formed in the wasteland, often fighting over dwindling resources and safe zones. The mental health crisis worsened, with countless people suffering from trauma, grief, and despair. Scientists warned of lasting geological effects, including increased seismic activity due to the sudden redistribution of water mass. Despite the devastation, stories of heroism emerged as some communities banded together to rebuild. Innovators worked tirelessly to develop makeshift solutions for clean water and shelter. From the ruins, small pockets of hope sprouted as people reclaimed their resilience and ingenuity. Global leaders called for unity and innovation, recognizing that humanity's future depended on cooperation. New underground civilizations began to form in safe zones away from the flood's reach. Some survivors turned to ancient survival skills, creating floating communities on the remaining water bodies. Educational efforts shifted to teaching survival skills, as traditional schooling became impossible in flooded zones. Wildlife conservationists attempted to rescue endangered species, many of which were pushed to the brink of extinction. The skies cleared after months of relentless storms, revealing a changed but still habitable Earth. Humans faced the daunting task of living with the new reality, where water now dominated the planet. Scientists forecasted a long recovery, possibly taking generations to restore the world's ecosystems and infrastructure. Despite the overwhelming odds, stories of human resilience and hope persisted in whispered legend and news reports. Communities began experimenting with floating farms and water-based habitats to adapt to the new environment. The world learned painful lessons about the fragility of its infrastructure and the importance of preparedness. Ancient cities buried beneath the waters became archaeological treasures for future generations striving to understand this disaster. In this reimagined world, humanity faced its greatest test of endurance, innovation, and compassion. Throughout the chaos, the resilient spirit of humankind shined through, sparking a slow but hopeful rebirth. While the death count was a staggering 30 million plus, countless more adapted and found new purpose amid destruction. As the waters slowly receded in some places, survivors began tentatively rebuilding what they could. The planet, scarred but still alive, awaited a new era where humans would learn to coexist with its unpredictable power. In the quest to create viral top 5 videos, a passionate content creator decided to showcase the top 20 oldest extinct animal species with mind-blowing facts about each one and their corresponding time periods from when they roamed the Earth. Her goal was to captivate viewers with astonishing facts and impressive visuals that would make her video go viral across social media platforms. She began her research by diving into paleontology books, scientific journals, and expert interviews, meticulously gathering information about the oldest creatures to ever exist. The first animal she chose was the Opabinia, a mysterious creature from the Cambrian period about 505 million years ago. She discovered that Opabinia had 5 eyes and a backward-facing mouth, making it one of the strangest animals in Earth's history. Next, she highlighted the Hallucigenia, another Cambrian marvel known for its bizarre spines and worm-like body which roamed around 507 million years ago. Her research revealed that despite its odd appearance, Hallucigenia was an important part of early marine ecosystems. Moving forward in time, she featured the Scutosaurus, a heavily armored reptile from the late Permian period, approximately 260 million years ago. She found out that Scutosaurus was a herbivorous creature with thick armor to protect itself from predators. Each fact she uncovered seemed more fascinating than the last, fueling her excitement to share these discoveries. She crafted vivid animations and compelling voiceovers to bring each extinct animal's story to life. As she prepared her script, she remembered to include the specific time periods from when these animals roamed the earth to provide context. Her list included the Dimetrodon, a sail-backed synapsid from the early Permian about 290 million years ago. She shared that the sail on Dimetrodon might have been used for thermoregulation or display, which was a startling fact for many viewers. Turning to the Mesozoic era, she featured the mighty Megalodon, a giant shark that prowled the oceans around 6 million years ago. She emphasized that Megalodon could reach lengths of up to 60 feet, making it one of the most formidable predators ever. Her audience was fascinated when she explained that despite its extinction, Megalodon's fossils still astonish scientists today. She continued her countdown with the Kirki, a giant bird from the Miocene epoch, about 10 million years ago. The fact that Kirki stood taller than today's ostriches, reaching up to 10 feet, captivated her viewers. In her script, she highlighted that these enormous birds might have been apex predators in their time. She moved on to her next entry, the Diprotodon, an enormous wombat from Australia that existed during the Pleistocene, around 2 million years ago. She was amazed to find out that Diprotodon was the largest known marsupial to have ever lived. Her research uncovered that Diprotodon roamed the ancient landscapes of Australia, often living in herds for protection. Adding a fun twist, she shared that the ancient Australians possibly encountered Diprotodon long before humans arrived. Her list continued with the prehistoric dolphin-like Ambulocetus, which swam the seas about 48 million years ago during the Eocene epoch. She explained that Ambulocetus could walk on land and swim, showcasing an incredible transitional form. The video also featured the pterodactyl, a flying reptile from the late Jurassic period around 150 million years ago. She excitedly described its wingspan, which could reach up to 33 feet, making it one of the largest flying animals of its time. Each fact she shared aimed to dazzle and educate her viewers about these ancient marvels. She understood the importance of engaging visuals, so she included time-lapse animations of extinct animals in their natural habitats. As she finalized her top 5 countdown, she chose to include the woolly mammoth from the Ice Age about 400,000 years ago. Her fans loved the idea of seeing detailed reconstructions of these majestic creatures covered in thick fur due to the cold climate. Finally, she revealed the oldest extinct animal on her list, the Proterochampsa, a crocodile-like reptile from the late Triassic period over 200 million years ago. She explained that it was one of the earliest crocodile relatives, offering clues about the evolution of modern crocs. Her passion for these ancient animals shone through her final narration, inspiring viewers to learn more about Earth's history. In the end, her video not only went viral, but also sparked a renewed interest in prehistoric animals among her audience. Her careful blend of astonishing facts, vivid visuals, and engaging narration made her content stand out in the crowded digital landscape. She knew that sharing the stories of Earth's oldest and most extinct creatures was a powerful way to connect people with the planet's incredible evolutionary history.